My amplified unit, salute. I just don't know anymore when it comes to common sense and logic. I just don't know if WWE understands the meaning of logic, which according to the dictionary is as follows. Logic is using reasoning conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity. Common sense, according to the dictionary, good sense and sound judgment in practical matters. That's logic and common sense, and you cannot tell me, especially in the last 10 years, or the bulk of the last 10 years, that this company has used sound judgment and reasonable sense. There's been nothing logical, no common sense used at all. And anything you see, or at least the majority of what we see from Stamford, Connecticut, whether it's Vince and Kennedy McMahon, the old bastard in Stamford himself, or his doofus son-in-law, SHNOZ McGee, Mr. Pinocchio, Triple BS, it wouldn't matter. Any suit and tie in between. Common sense is not so common in Stamford, Connecticut for WWE. Where's this coming from, BC? Usually you're on top, you're on that ass when it comes to lack of logic and lack of common sense with WWE, but it seems like it's another level of befuddlement on today's Amped Up podcast, BC. What happened, BC? Well, let me tell you what Triple BS, the more lies being spewed from this dude, contradicting himself every turn. Every which way, Triple BS contradicts himself because he doesn't even remember what he said the day before, an hour before, 10 minutes before, or maybe he knows exactly what he said and he's hoping that we forgot, or that we're just not going to question anything this company does. Do you guys remember what he did? What's BC talking about, right? And trust me, we're going to get to the SmackDown review. I assure you, this is just a quick cold open. My thoughts on this tournament for the WWE title. That's my cold open. But the bulk of this Amped Up podcast for Saturday, May 6th, 2023, the morning of BackLash, the focus, the feature of this Amped Up podcast will be SmackDown from last night, the go-home show to BackLash. From top to bottom, start to finish, beginning to end, we will cover SmackDown. I assure you. If you came here for the review, it's coming. But BC has to get this off his chest. BC has to address this because it's always, oh, he's so negative. BC just likes to rip the product apart. BC just doesn't enjoy the product. If you don't like it, just don't watch it, basically. Well, if I said that the last 20 years for my Knicks, I would have gave up and I wouldn't have seen them in the playoffs this year. Finally, playoffs? My Knicks are in the playoffs, man. Actually, they're going to be in a game 3 against the Miami Heat before BackLash. Right? But I still show up to Madison Square Garden and I hoot and I holler and I bitch and I moan and I complain just like we all do. Tens of thousands of us live. Hundreds of thousands, millions possibly around the world. We bitch, we moan, we complain, we raise the red flag, we address the issues so that management understands they done fucked up and the fan base ain't happy. We just don't quit what we love. Whether it's my Yankees, my Packers, if they suck, we gotta tell them. And when they're doing phenomenal, we're right there to put them on our backs and our shoulders, man. Raise them up high. Throw the parades for them when they're winning and kicking ass. We throw the parades, the confetti, the fireworks, the adulation. And when they suck, you tell them that too. You just don't quit. For anybody that says we're just negative, why don't they just use common sense and logic and help us, meet us halfway and give us good storytelling characters that we give a fuck about? And here's a crazy concept. Make things make sense. This was HHH just Monday night. Do you guys remember Monday when he said this shit a week ago. I'm gonna let you guys hear it for yourself, just in case you thought you were imagining it, right? You made up this falsity in your dome piece because it was wishful thinking. This is what HHH, what I now call triple BS, Mr. Pinocchio himself, SHNOZ McGee, because the more he lies, just like the old tale of Pinocchio, his nose gets bigger every lie. That's the tale of Pinocchio. Check this out. This is what triple BS said a week ago. You guys ready for this?
You need more than that. And that is why a few weeks ago when I talked about the WWE draft, I said that the draft would change WWE at its very core. Because when Roman Reigns gets drafted to whatever brand he gets drafted to, he will take the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship with him, and he will stay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, Mr. Pinocchio. Can you say that again, please? Mr. Pinocchio.
To whatever brand.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
WWE at its very core. Because when Roman Reigns gets drafted to whatever brand he gets drafted to,
okay, when
he will take the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship with him,
and
he will stay there.
Oh, he's going to stay where he got drafted with the title.
Will determine a new champion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, one more time. What? The other what?
The other brand.
The other brand.
Will determine a new champion.
A new champion. Okay. Okay, so what he just said, this was from Monday night, last Monday, 11 days ago, some shit. He says, in his own words, live in front of the world, he says, okay, Roman's going to take that title to SmackDown and stay there. And the other brand, you just fucking heard it, right? You just heard it from the fucking Pinocchio's mouth himself. The other brand will determine the new champion. Didn't he not just, am I imagining this? What the fuck?
A few weeks ago when I talked about the WWE brand he gets drafted to, he will take the WWE Undisputed
and it's, come on, spit it out, fucker. Man, I know you're getting older.
And he will stay.
He will stay there. Okay, now what about Raw?
The other brand.
Okay, which is Raw now.
Will determine
a new champion. Okay. Let's shut Pinocchio up for a second. Okay, so there we go, right? Now we already know this guy does nothing but bullshit, people. We already know this. He's bullshitted his whole fucking career. He has taken out his golden shovel. He has a list 100 participants long of how many people he has buried with the golden shovel. He gets in tight with power his entire career. It's what he does. He dropped China like a bag of bricks when he got in good with Stephanie. The second he sniffed Vince McMahon's office with the Click, he didn't even party. He doesn't even party, but he somehow became really good friends with the Click because of their wrestling minds. You had people like Bret Hart and so many people there that you could pick their brains with and drive without worrying about a bunch of fucking drunks and people on pills and shit. But you chose them because you knew the Click was always in Vince's office. They were the tightest. So that's why he was their designated driver. He always tried this shit with William Regal back in the WCW days. He tried it with Ric Flair. Ric Flair didn't bite in WCW. So the second this dude, Pinocchio, had some power in WWE, he put Ric Flair underneath his wing. This is what the dude did. When Sting came over, he had to make sure he defeated Sting at WrestleMania just to show that no matter how big you were in WCW, I'm the bigger one. This is what he does. He does the NXT shit thanks to William Regal and Dusty Rhodes and everybody that truly formulated from the ground up NXT Black and Gold. And then the dude got the keys to the kingdom and he tried to become Papa H. I'm looking out for all of your best interests. And then when one by one they started getting fired and getting Das Boot and the business model was changing, where was SHNOZ McGee? And this is before he got bedridden after Tony Khan kicked his ass off of Wednesday nights. And then the smoke and mirrors, he hires everybody back. It's all smoke and mirrors. It was just to show everybody that Vince isn't back, we swear, when Vince never actually truly left. He never left. It was smoke and mirrors. You see to this day, they still don't know what they're doing with Johnny Gargano. They still don't know what they're doing. If Tommaso didn't get injured, Tommaso would still be licking the balls of the Miz. They don't know what to do with Munchkin, Mia Yim. They don't know what to do with... Shut up, Pinocchio. They don't know what to do with Van Halen, Van Halla. They don't know what to do with any of these people. Dexter Loomis couldn't be more lost. Karrion Kross is flat on his back again last night looking up at the lights. Karrion Kross. No better booking by fucking HHH than VKM. And if you say it's all majority VKM, BC, Triple H, he can't do anything, his hands are tied, then you're telling me his balls are trapped deep into the purse of Stephanie, and this dude doesn't have any manhood to take them out, reattach them, and step the fuck up. You are the chief content creative officer, or whatever the fuck you call yourself. Act like it. If you have one of those titles of the head of creative, and this is the shit you produce, and you don't even make sense anymore, then you are just as much to blame as the owner from here on out. Because you refuse to step the fuck up and say, this is BS. This is not good. This contradicts ourselves. There's no common sense and logic here. And you are just an enabler at that point. You are the biggest fucking ball licker and ass kisser, way more than John Laurinaitis, people power, and Brucey Pritchard, and Michael P.S. Hayes, and Kevin Dunn, and anybody else. It doesn't fucking matter. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I see right the fuck through HHH, Triple BS, Pinocchio, SHNOZ McGee. That's what he said 11 days ago. That is what he said. The other brand would get the championship. Okay. And what does he say yesterday before SmackDown? Listen to this.
But starting after Backlash this Monday night on Raw, we will begin a World Heavyweight Championship tournament.
Okay, a Raw tournament for
the... It will be across both brands.
I'm sorry, what was that? Hold on, whoa, shut up. I said shut up. What did you say again? Say that again from the top, please, Pinocchio.
Across both brands.
Shut up, Pinocchio. Say it again.
Across both brands.
It
will be across both brands. On Monday Night Raw, there will be 2 triple threat matches with the winners facing each other later that night to determine a winner for Monday Night Raw. That Friday on SmackDown, the same thing will happen. 2 triple threat matches will take place.
On SmackDown?
Those winners will face each other at the end of SmackDown to determine a winner there. Those 2 winners from Raw and SmackDown will then go on to Night of Champions, where one of them...
Oh, shut up. I'm done with you. Go back to the beginning. What about both brands?
It will be across both brands.
Where the fuck is it going to be?
It will be across both brands.
Oh, fucking A. Hold on. What did you just say a week and a half ago on Monday Night Raw?
Deserves more. A few weeks ago when I talked about the WWE draft, I said that the draft would change WWE at its very core.
You did say that, didn't you?
Because when Roman Reigns
one of your many lies. Go ahead.
Drafted to whatever brand he gets drafted to.
Yeah, what's going to happen with Roman in the title?
The WWE Undisputed Universal Championship with him.
Okay, where?
He will stay.
Oh, he's going to stay on the blue brand? Okay. Now, what's the Raw brand going to do? The other brand, Raw.
Will determine
a
new champion.
A new champion. The other brand is going to determine a new champion. Okay. So, what are you saying here, then? What are you saying last night?
It will be across both brands.
What?
On Monday Night Raw, there will be...
What?
Triple threat match.
Where is it going to be?
On Monday Night Raw, it will be across both brands.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be across both brands, he's saying, Pinocchio. Okay. That's enough of this fucking guy. I've had enough of that. I wanted to give you I want to give you just some transparency, some context here of what I mean when I say this company doesn't use common sense and logic, guys. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't care about fucking people say I'm too negative or I'm an asshole. I don't care about that, man. That's fuel to the fire. It's BC I get amplified on that shit, man. I don't give a shit. As long as people understand that every word I say is just factual. There's nothing to disagree. I can't say what people. I disagree, BC. What? There's nothing to disagree about. You're just showing stupidity at that point. There's things to disagree on, no question, right? There's likes and there's dislikes and there's things we cannot come to an agreement on. I get it. Personal preference, personal beliefs, personal way of thinking. That's what makes us awesome. Sometimes, anyway. But then there's things that are just factual, and they cannot be altered just because you want to believe something else or you're too stupid to see the truth. And sometimes that's the case. BC too. Sometimes I gotta take L's because I was too stupid to see something. It happens. Don't be afraid to take L's. I love taking L's because I usually learn from those L's. I love when people go, oh, BC has such an ego. He doesn't like the disagreement. No. I love taking fucking L's. There's no ego in that. I love, if I'm wrong, I get to fucking learn something. But on this channel, most of the time anyway, it's a podcast, so you're going to get a lot of my thoughts as well. You'll get a lot of opinion mixed in. But the majority of what you're going to hear is factual discussion, factual conversation, right? A lot of it's going to have full transparency to look back on when done proper research and history. That's why we went back a week and a half ago. When you hear what the head guy in WWE, or at least the head face guy, not face heel, suit and tie, there you go. The head suit and tie on camera right now is easily Paul Levesque, right? And when he goes live and introduces a new championship and he says what this title was created for, right? Because people are like, why is there a new fucking title? Just take the fucking title off Roman if he's going to sit home for 2 months. Cody should have just got the title, right? But no, he doesn't. So then Brock attacks Cody and we know what happened, guys. Last night, Cody is cutting a promo the night before BackLash, which is tonight. And you know what Cody is talking about? Brock still hasn't told anybody why the fuck he even attacked me. He actually said that in his promo last night. Cody is still talking about how Brock doesn't even have a reason to attack him because they fucking botched it. And there was no common sense. There was no logic in any of this other than try to get 1,000 days and then go for Hulk Hogan's 1474. And because we're going to go so much longer into the future with Roman Reigns' championship title reign, we have to create a new fucking title. So this brings us, so we're already mind-boggled by what the fuck happened with so many decisions in the past year especially, right? Austin Theory cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase in the middle of a Monday Night Raw during a U.S. Championship Open Challenge. He didn't even have to cash in. He could have just accepted the Open Challenge. He could have cashed in on the World Champion, not the mid-card title. He's already had the mid-card title several times before that. He was getting title matches every other week anyway for that same title. None of it made sense. And then he failed the cash in anyway. And his excuse was, well, I was never going to beat Roman anyway. And then a few months later, he declares himself eligible for the Rumble because he wants to win so he can have an opportunity to take on Roman Reigns. You're not making sense. You didn't want to cash in on Roman because you didn't think you'd win anyway. So you were too scared to do such. But now you all of a sudden want to win the Rumble so you can take on Roman. It doesn't make sense. And you call that out, and I'm just so negative, man. You're overthinking it, BC. No, I'm really not. This is a television show that most of us grew up on. We just want it to make sense. I'll believe in outrageous shit like lightning shooting out of Undertaker's hand, or Bray Wyatt or Matt Hardy transporting, or Papa Shango doing voodoo. I don't give a fuck. I'll believe it if you tell the story properly. I know it's a show. It's entertainment. But just meet me halfway and give us something we can latch onto in the realm of believability, right? I'll believe lightning is shooting out of hand if you tell the story properly and the character is believable as such. What the fuck are we doing here? Austin Theory doing that just totally, to this day, just is befuddling to the majority of us. And then you see the decision Sunday night. This isn't just like, oh, people didn't get their way and we kept the title on Roman. Too bad. The story's going to continue. No, this wasn't that. This was easily a botch. We all knew that when the air got sucked out of pro wrestling. Still to this day, wrestling has not been the same since WrestleMania Night 2. That was a moment that you cannot do what they did Sunday night, April 2nd. And everybody is suffering from that to this very day. Even other promotions. The air got sucked out of the pro wrestling world. And SHNOZ McGee, Mr. Pinocchio, on that same night during a press conference, media scrum, like he always copies Tony Khan, by the way. He copies Tony Khan's themed NXT shows like Tony did with AEW. Wednesday nights were a theme, so he started to do more themes. This dude, Tony Khan, does the big announcements to try to pop a rating. Here comes Papa H with the big announcements. Khan does these media scrums after big pay-per-views. Here comes Pinocchio. And he spews his fucking lies, right? After WrestleMania, he said, well, I know people will be upset, but do you ever think of this? Maybe there's more story to tell, he says. That's what he says. Oh, he's got to do the Triple H voice, right? He's got to deepen up the voice so there's more power. You know what I mean? It got to be more like Vince. So, there's more story to tell, and fans got to be patient. Fans got to be patient? No, there's not any more story to tell. We knew there wasn't. We know how WWE operates. And sure enough, look at the last month. There was nothing. Brock attacks for no reason Cody. Cody goes around the world without a fucking title. He's been to the UK. He's all around the US, Puerto Rico tonight and last night. And he's traveling. He should have had the championship while Roman sips martinis the last 2 months. But no, they didn't have a fucking story. The bloodline with the Usos and Solo, they diminished that the entire month. We just started picking up this week, the tension between Solo and the Usos. It's starting to pick up finally. But there was nothing. They didn't know where they were going with anything. This dude just goes, be patient. There's more story to tell. No, there's not. If Cody faces Roman in 3 months or at SummerSlam or next year at Mania or in 2055, it would not make a difference. You'll never get that moment back, A. And B, you're starting a new book. It's not the same story. I say this all the time for anybody that reads their Harry Potter books. I don't read many fucking books anymore. I've never read a Harry Potter book, but I know that this J.K. Rowling, the author, has become super, super rich because she created this amazing world of wizardry, not with Chris Jericho. But do you know that she had about 8 or 9 books separately? It wasn't just one huge book. It was a bunch of books with the same characters with interlocking stories and fresh stories each book. You start a new book after Mania. You don't continue it because then it's stale. And look, here we are. Roman could not be more stale as champion. And I was supporting his entire title reign up until the Cody Rhodes match. But even I knew it has to end then because going forward, I can't even do it anymore. And here we are. And he's sitting home, so we don't even got to fucking... It's not even like you got to be nauseous when he's in the fucking ring with the title. He doesn't even show up to work. Cody's going around the world without the championship, acting as if he did win it. Brock's attacking for no reason because he didn't have the title, so it makes him look stupid. Austin Theory, the Cody Rhodes situation at Mania. I could keep going and going, and they don't have a fucking clue that they're not making any sense. So then they go and they make a new title because they realize the backlash is severe. This wasn't just people unhappy that they didn't get their way. They realized, oh shit, they're actually pissed off, and they're kind of done with a lot of this. So we'll create a new title out of the blue. The only thing now is we have to tell everybody why it's being made. Why are we making this? I could play the audio again, but it's probably making you just as nauseous. So I won't play his words again. But you heard it several times already in this podcast. You have heard Triple H himself say that the reason that this was created, this title, was because Roman, we know you're all sick and tired of him. We're gonna throw him over, stick him on the blue brand. And Raw will have their own champion, right? That's what was told to us. If you want to have a dual tournament with SmackDown involved and there's going to be 2 world champions on one brand, that's fine. Tell us that. No, they didn't have their ducks in a row. You guys want the truth. I'm dishing it to you. I hope you can accept it. They don't know what they're doing day to day. They don't. That's how clumsy and fumbling this company is and has been. They don't know what they're doing by the hour. They're moving the goalpost every morning they wake up. By breakfast, by the time they take their morning shit, by the time they're reading the fucking afternoon paper, by the time they're at the board meeting, their afternoon shit, their lunch, their 3 p.m. meeting, every fucking turn, they're moving the goalposts. That's what's happening. And because they're doing that, every single show, they're changing their own standards and practices, their own words, their own rules are being changed left and right because they don't know what they're doing. So we get told this title is formulated because of the void on Raw, or whatever brand Roman will be on. And then we find out, well, actually, we're going to invite all the blue brand to take the fucking title. So Raw won't have anything. Of course, that's not going to happen. Raw, this is also a spoiler. It doesn't even make it fun because obviously whoever is representing Raw is getting the title. That's obvious now. So you spoil your own shit in the process. But to totally contradict yourself within one fucking week on such a massive, massive call like a new championship and why the fuck it was formulated in the first place. Pinocchio himself, Mr. SHNOZ McGee, Mr. Triple BS, Mr. Doofus son-in-law, my doofus son-in-law. You'll do as I say, and they'll look at you like a doofus. Or you can make your own calls, and you're still gonna be my doofus son-in-law. I could not believe when I heard what I heard when I heard it. I was like, you gots to be kidding me. I literally, I'm double fisting quaffies right now because I still can't fathom it the next morning. The next fucking morning. I can't say I ordered this one. They made a mistake. They gave me a cold vanilla latte. I ordered a hot, so I told them, excuse me, I got a hot. He says, oh, well, we can't take them back, so you can take the cold one, too. I said, you just double amplified BC before a fucking podcast. I hope you know what you just done did. Pinocchio is not going to like you. So BC is fucking double-fisted coffees due to a Starbucks mistake. But salute, man. We ultra amplified. So, guys, that's my cold open, man. I didn't want it to go a half an hour as a cold open, but that's just what it is, man. There's a lot of frustration in the wrestling community because we love this shit. We really do love this. Just like we love our, if you're a Knicks fan or you have a sports team that hasn't won a championship or has just sucked for many years, and you're not going to give up on them. You love them, right? You're still going to watch when they suck, and you're going to bitch and throw things, and it's what we do, man. We're fans and shit. So for me, it's like teams like my Knicks, who for 20 years just, wow. I'm ever since the Patrick Ewing days and John Starks and Harper and Mason and that team, ever since then, it's the Knicks have been just non-existent in the NBA. And that's not even over-exaggeratory. They've been non-existent, but I never gave up on them. And here we are in the playoffs. We're tied 1-1 in the first two games. And game 3 is going to be on in a few hours. And if we can win the series, guys, Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not saying it's easier. We're going to. I don't know if we're that team yet, but we love something for so long. We want to help it get better. We just don't give up on it. Pro wrestling has been there for most of us since we were little kids, man. It's why most of us still watch out of habit and hope. Habit, we've been watching since we were little kids. Hope, hoping it gets better. That's why a lot of us still watch. It's not because it's a really good show anymore or even good. Sadly, many of us watch out of habit and hope. And it's frustrating when they don't even make sense. They don't make sense. They're changing their own decisions left and right without explanation. Have some humility. Make a joke out of it. Like I know last Monday I said it was Raw exclusive, but we had a big meeting. Lasted, make a joke. Lasted 4 hours, 3.5 hours more than we wanted it to. But we came to the conclusion that we're going to let the roster decide who this champion is. And maybe somebody on the Raw brand will get the first dibs to take on the SmackDown champion if such wins, if that makes sense. Have humility. Say, there's many of us like BC that are not forgetting what you're saying because we want to invest ourselves into the product. You're treating everybody like they're dumb fuck simpletons, man. And for dumb fuck simpletons, that's fine. They'll accept it. They have their WWE flag planted in their lawn. Their tribalism could not be at a more amplified peak. And any fucking bullshit stew you feed them, they'll sit there with their Oliver Twist wooden bowl and wooden spoon saying, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" And Pinocchio and VKM, Kevin Dunn, "I love you, Brucey," and just Mr. People Power will somehow be in the company again, and he'll fucking be giving you some People Power beef stew mixed in with the all-important ingredient of bullshit. And you'll keep getting that bullshit beef stew. Because these fans don't care. Whatever is thrown out there on their TVs, they're gonna act or claim, or maybe some actually do love it, and then they come across channels like this and they're like, "I don't know why you're complaining. It's a really good show. If you don't like it, don't watch, Mr. Mean Podcaster Man. Mean Podcaster guy, shut up. Hey, Beasley? Shut up. Shut the fuck up, Beasley. Can you do that? Can you shut the fuck up, Beasley?" No, and I won't. And I'm not gonna. Because you're gonna finally, what a fucking day this is. You're gonna graduate to some fucking common sense and logic today. First and foremost, Professor BC is gonna tap class into session. Get your fucking notepads or your fucking your pens, your highlighters, your posties, and start taking the fucking notes and understand that if you're watching WWE or any professional wrestling show, you need to raise your standards. You deserve better. We all do. This shit can be better. Stop clinging to their balls with everything they do and start questioning them. Raise the alarm and the red flag if you think something is not right. But telling them that everything they do is awesome, everything is cool when you're part of the crew. No, everything is not awesome. If you go up to the barista and they say your coffee, your just one vanilla latte is $37, are you going to say, "Awesome, American Express"? No, you're going to question why it's $37. Common sense and logic. And these are not channels for you if you don't like common sense, logic, and things making sense and the product to be better. These shows, professional wrestling to be more amplified and better. If you don't want any of that, das! Boot! You're gone! Hit the bricks! There's 1,000 other channels that'll probably talk about how this product is amazing and they don't fuck up and little hole there, but all in all, this is amazing. WWE is amazing. AEW is amazing. No, it's not. It's not. There's a lot of issues right now. And AEW was not good Wednesday either. You can blame playoffs all you want, but when you dip to 776,000 viewers and you started at a 1-4 for your debut just less than 5 years ago, you lost half of your audience. That's way, way more worse than just NBA playoffs, guys. If you think it's just playoff games that has made them lose half of their audience, stop it. Man. You guys tell me, most of you guys, man, anyway. You guys tell me, man. Thank you, BC. Thank you for being the voice for all of us. Thank you for telling it like it is, dropping the facts, not resting on the BS or just accepting it. And you're our go-to. Sometimes most of the time, you guys tell me you miss a lot of these shows, but you listen to BC, not just because I'm more entertaining than the shows, sadly, but because I let you know if there's something really good to watch, go back and check it out. And if not, then you didn't waste your time. Congratulations. You know, you guys tell me all the time, thank you, BC. But honestly, guys, I thank myself. I am thankful that I think this way, you know, and I don't rest on the BS, and I call them out for it. I really do. The fact that this channel started as a hobby, and it still is to this day. This is not a full-time job or anything. I know a lot of content creators and podcasters, they just have this as a job, and they cling on every click. They cling on every clickbaited headline or thumbnail, and they hope that business is good. No, this is still my hobby, man. This is still my fucking hobby, and I still love it just as much today as I did when I first started. And the truth is, just like when I first started, man, whether I have 2,500 or 25 people listening to this podcast, I'm glad that I can say these words and let this company know. And trust me when I say, whether it's WWE or AEW, there are many, from suits and ties to talent in all these companies. They listen to BC Amplified. I can tell you that, confirmed from talent themselves. Some of which, I won't give too much away, some of which I talk to this day. One individual from All Elite Wrestling just spoke with yesterday. So trust me when I say this has a reach. Whether it's 2,500 people listening, 25,000, 25, I'm going to spew this until these companies wake up. They have to wake up. This is unacceptable. To create a title out of thin air because you fucked up at WrestleMania. So this is your damage control, no pun intended to Bayley's group. But this is your way to cover it up. And you even botched that. Nothing they say makes sense. They don't even realize they're contradicting themselves, or they just don't give a shit. Pinocchio's nose got a lot bigger last night, if that was even fucking possible. Good job, SHNOZ McGee. That is my cold open. I'm going to get a big swig of coffee, and we are going to start the SmackDown review. I'll try not to take too long on this, guys. I know the cold open was pretty long, but I had a lot to discuss there. I ain't too fucking pleased about fucking an already stupid company getting more stupid and making less sense than they did before, when I didn't even think that was fucking possible. Iced coffee, man. I don't usually get these straight up. I get the Frappuccinos that are chilled. You can get those in like supermarkets from Starbucks, man. But this one is this is the drink they fucked up on. I ordered a hot vanilla latte. They gave me a cold one, but this is actually pretty good, man. I'm not a big iced coffee fan per se. Unless, again, it's like those market ones from Dunkin' and Starbucks. All right, guys. We may have to stay amplified for some of this show from last night. This is the SmackDown review, 5/5/23, Cinco de Mayo. Fuck yeah, man. May the 4th into Cinco de Mayo. And then BackLash. So you had 4, 5, and 6, 3 big days, man. LWO starts the show. Looking badass with those Puerto Rico LWO colors, LWO shirts. Really freaking cool, man. Zelina looking like a superhero in her getup. The pants and everything. Zelina was looking flared up. It was a cool visual with them in the ring. The crowd, and I believe, where was it? San Juan, I believe is where they were. It was just electric. Electric from the jump. Judgment Days, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley quickly interrupt, and they make their way to the ring. Before they get into the ring, Dominic Mysterio rips up one of those slick LWO new shirts. Just rips it up, showing you how he feels. That, of course, got a loud boo to Dominic, as if Dominic Mysterio needed any more heat on him. San Juan would not let this dude speak. It is so incredibly, amazingly awesome to see the heat that Dominic Mysterio gets. It's the heat that Austin Theory should be getting. He might get that, actually, from Puerto Rico tonight. He might get some good heel heat. I think the crowd's just going to be electric tonight. Same place, isn't it? It's same venue as last night, San Juan, I believe. I'll do research on it, guys. I will. Right now, I'm keeping it here already. The cold open went well over a half an hour. That cold open was supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes. So anyway, Dominic is out in there just absorbing this immaculate, because that's what this is in this business, immaculate, genuine heel heat. And you could tell every performer in there was just loving it for him. Even the faces, you could tell his papa was proud. Ray's just looking at this like, this is great, bro. Escobar's like, fuck. You see Rhea Ripley just like playing it up, man. Everybody was so proud of Dominic as he's getting booed in the ring. The promo was mostly cut in Spanish for the Ray and Dominic back and forth, which BC was super jealous of because the crowd on every line that was delivered, the crowd was like, oh, damn. Like every line just seemed like a zinger and it was like important or funny or like, just like, damn, he just said that. And fucking BC's like, what are they saying? What the fuck? Put some fucking caption up, man. Like, small. It doesn't have to take away from the picture, but BC wants to know. It sounded like it was a really good promo. Rhea Ripley, after it all, says, you're on. And BC is like, what's on? Somebody explain this to me. Fuck. I thought I knew a little bit of Spanish, enough, conversation or whatever. I learned last night quickly. I do not. Like small captions, man. BC wanted to be a part of this epic, but the crowd was electric. Promo was really good, or at least, it looked really good, sounded good. And then Rhea says, you're on, and that was the end of the segment. And I was like, wait, I don't know what happened. I came to the conclusion. I came to the conclusion. There you go. I need more fucking coffee, clearly. I came to the conclusion that it was Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Mixed tag match main event for later in the night. I came to that conclusion. Thank you. I put my thinking cap on. Me not dum-dum. Pinocchio dum-dum. So that's how we ended the first segment. Pretty special. Even though I didn't understand a fucking word that was being said, it was electric. It was such a fun moment. Everybody, the LWO, man, they got a look. It is special. It's going to be interesting to see if they try to capitalize on that. There are some of the top merchandise sellers right now in WWE. Last week, anyway, was LWO. And those shirts last night looked phenomenal. Major props to the Puerto Rico crowd last night. They were so much fun, such on fire, and I think that same element will be showcased tonight, I believe. The OC versus the Viking Raiders was the first match of the night. Match time was just over 7 minutes in length. The OC hits the Magic Killer finisher on Carl. Oh, no. Carl Anderson is OC, BC. The Magic Killer finisher was put on Ivar. And Anderson pinned Ivar after the finisher. And the Viking Raiders eat another L. My thoughts on this is simple. OC absolutely has to pick up W's now more than ever, like Kim Kardashian picks up husbands. Like Pac-Man, like Sonic collecting those gold rings, man. OC has to collect that, right? OC has a great visual as well with AJ Styles and Munchkin with them. Anderson and Gallows. These little groups are forming left and right. We're seeing, right? If you add a female to the bloodline, right? If Tamina or something goes over there, whether you ever bring up Rock's daughter quicker than later, which I'm not saying that's the right call, but knowing Vince and H, they will do that. But you add a female over there, then you got the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley. You got the OC with Munchkin. You got LWO with Zelina. You're seeing these little groups pop up with the one female in them. And together, collectively, they actually do look badass. Now, can WWE manage them all at once? Can they juggle all of these factions at once? Remains to be seen. They can't do much on their own, let alone jungle a lot of things at once. But the OC absolutely needed this victory. I don't disagree with that one bit. The problem is, well, so do the Raiders. The Raiders need to collect W's like Sonic collecting those gold rings and Pac-Man collecting his shit and Kim Kardashian needing a new husband. The Viking Raiders desperately need W's. This was a team called War Machine, then the War Raiders. They have a look, they have a presence, they can go in the ring, they got a manager, Van Halen, one of my favorite bands, and here we are still collecting L's in just under 7 minutes. Can we just agree they're done? I mean, it's clear there's nothing for them. And even if they start collecting 4 or 5 W's in a row starting next week, is that enough to dig them out of the hole that WWE has placed them in and make us care about them or believe that they're an actual threat in world wrestling entertainment? I don't know anymore. I said this a couple weeks ago, and here we are a couple weeks later, and they're still losing these fucking matches like nothing. The big boy, Ivar, flat on his back looking up at the lights, and the second he loses, he rolls out of the ring. Now, I know that's what you're supposed to do so the faces can celebrate, but damn, did he look really bad. Viking Raiders looked really bad. And if that's the case, don't book the matches. Don't book the matches. It's the reason we used to have jobber matches back in the day. The superstars annihilated the jobbers. The dipshit Guggenheimers and the fuckwad Freds around the corner at the local bingo hall. You got them for the night and you watch the big boss man annihilate them. Or the Mountie. Or fucking Tito Santana or Rick Martel. Earthquake. Dino Bravo. The Mountie. Nails. Typhoon. The Texas Tornado. Tatanka. The $1 Million Man in IRS as a tag team. Money Incorporated was their name. But you saw them take on a lot of jobbers, right? And it was fun, actually. When you do this shit correctly, you want to see the superstars annihilate motherfuckers. You can't tell me that the viewership is any more higher because we're seeing the same matches we see all the time, or we're just seeing superstars lose to other superstars in mere minutes, and they're 50-50 booked, making everybody on that roster irrelevant. Not prestigious in the least. Don't book the matches when people desperately need wins. And if that's a problem, then you need to spend more time on your booking and your creative, because right now you're lacking in both areas to the most amplified of measures. Yeah, can you tell? It gets me heated, man. It's not that hard, guys. We're not asking this company to move mountains. This isn't rocket science. This isn't even Steiner math. This is bare basics, the fundamentals of professional wrestling. Book smart. Book to help your company and your wrestlers. Everybody will win in the process when everything looks good. When your company looks good. When the wrestlers look like winners. I understand you got to lose from time to time. But when you're 50-50 booked and most of the roster is, that's a problem. Because the fans won't get behind somebody who's average. We could go to the local supermarket and spend 3 hours there on a Monday night to see average motherfuckers do average things. Nobody needs to spend 3 hours on a Monday night doing that shit, 2 hours on a Friday night doing that shit, 2 hours or 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon doing that shit, 3 hours on a Sunday night doing that shit. A Wednesday, a Tuesday, a Thursday, there's a wrestling show every fucking night of the week. We're not tuning in to see average. That's what 50-50 booking is. You took War Machine, the Viking Raiders, and you have made them below average somehow. Up next, Bianca Belair. She says that she's in a promo. Bianca Belair. Even when she looks like she just ate Papa Smurf and maybe some of the Smurfettes. Right? She's drenched in a whole blue garment. Even when she's wearing that shit, she's just ultra fucking beautiful. But Bianca Belair's out there cutting an in-ring promo by herself. She says that with a victory tomorrow night over Io Sky at BackLash, she will officially become the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. So there you go. That tells you who's winning tonight. Obviously, I mean, we kind of already knew it was Bianca. But when they come out and say, one more victory away from the longest reign, we know this company is obsessed with breaking records lately. Breaking anything from the past. They don't want anything cool from the past. They just want to break every record these days. That's where we're at. So we kind of already knew that, but man, when they started saying that and they had Bianca actually say that in the promo, well, there you go. We expect a good match tonight with Io versus Belair, no question. But, it kind of made the finish salty. You already know now for sure. There's not going to be some upset, some surprise. Bianca's walking away because there's a big record after this victory. Damage Control then comes out. Io, Dakota, and Bayley. Bayley says some words, and then all three attack Bianca like a group of hyenas. A brawl ensues. It's 3-on-1 at that point. Everybody's damage control is jumping Bianca until women's tag champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez hit the ring to even the odds as the heels retreat. And Raquel and Liv save Bianca. Now, all BC could think of the whole time, and this is a true story, man. This isn't just a laugh. This is exactly what I was thinking when they were all brawling. BC said, literally, audibly, out loud, Bianca, abort! Abort the mission! Somebody get word to Bianca Belair, abort the mission! Because you're gonna crease your Jordans. Anybody who owns or ever owned a pair of Jordans, you know what I'm talking about. You know, she had some fresh Jordans, that the blue and white pattern, for SmackDown. So she had the blue and white Jordans on, and they easily crease, and you cannot have Jordans with creases, man. Now, most everybody listening, if you got Jordans, you probably got creases, right, PC? There's no way around it, man. I hear you. But you gotta go as long as you can before that first couple of creases. You know that. So here's Bianca like fucking wrestling in her Jordans. I'm like, no, don't crease them. They just looked fresh. I don't know if it was the whole outfit, but they looked fresh. And I was just thinking, man, when she gets to the back and looks down at those Jordans, she gonna see about 30 to 36 new creases in those Jordans. That's a true story, guys. I was actually like, man, I was feeling for those Jordans. Other than that, the segment didn't do anything. What the fuck did that do? And I say this like a broken record. Io Shirai, Io Sky, is one of my favorite female wrestlers in the world because I feel she's one of the best female wrestlers in the world. And recently, you started to actually finally see that. It's good when WWE actually opens the fucking doors of possibility. I'll use that word. Possibility for their female wrestlers. It's not always got to be about Charlie Flair or the next flavor of the month that they're trying to force feed you, but it ain't going to work, so it's rejected, so then they force feed you somebody else. No, give everybody the opportunity. You'd see ladies like Xia Li impress you to the most amplified of measurements, but no, they don't do that. Io finally starts to showcase because she's going to have a title match. She'll lose tonight, and she'll be right back to where Kana Asuka went after her WrestleMania defeat. Oh, wait, we don't even know where she is. You haven't seen Asuka since, have you? It's not because she's injured. She probably was in the doghouse for being frustrated the first week and saying how frustrated she was on social. But ever since, no, they just don't have anything. In this company, if you're not around a title picture, they don't have shit. So you have Io, it's probably going to go the same place as fucking Asuka. And Asuka got transferred, right? Drafted my ass. Transferred over to the Blue Brand with Bianca and Charlie Flair. You think Asuka's going to sniff big matches in the future? Ain't going to happen. Io's going to be right back. Not even to the beginning of the line. She's not even going to know where the line begins. No, this segment last night did nothing to get BC, who is so high on Bianca Belair, and even higher on Io. This got me... this didn't do anything. They get jumped by all the damage control. Okay, seen it. And then all of a sudden, Raquel and Liv come down, just so we can set up Bayley and Dakota versus Liv and Raquel for the titles, I think next week on SmackDown, possibly. Again... making sense is not one of the strong points of this company. The best part of the night was a backstage segment next. It was actually with the Usos and Solo Sikoa, where Jey Uso has finally had enough of Solo acting weird around them. And Solo, the Usos walk into the room and they're pumped up to be in Puerto Rico. They're pumped up to finally put an end to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Matthew Riddle, Scooter McGee. Right, they're going to show him a lesson tomorrow night, which is tonight for Backlash. So they're pumped up, and Solo isn't happy at all. He's taping his wrist, his hand, his spike finger. He's taping it, and he doesn't look happy at all to even acknowledge his cousins, the Usos. Brothers. He doesn't even acknowledge them. And instead, so that's when Jay was awesome. Jay is looking at Solo from behind, just like, what's this dude's issue? Like, I'm going to find out right now. And you can tell Jimmy's like, don't do it, Oos. But Jay goes right up to Solo and he goes, hey, Oos, my brother just asked you a question. It was, well, Jay Uso is so special, man. Jay Uso has been phenomenal from his first original work, obviously as the Usos from day one, but his original work with Roman really set the stage for the bloodline being so damn special. And Jay Uso has just never let up from that. Jay Uso remains just one of the best parts of every show he's on. And when he tells his side of the story, you're literally captivated by that shit. So yeah, even though that was a quick 60-second segment, that was my favorite segment of the night. Jay Uso. Hey, Us, my brother just asked you a question. You gonna answer him? And Solo just goes, yeah, I heard it. All I know is tomorrow I'm going to handle my business, and you better handle yours. And he walks away. And Jimmy tells Jay, man, Oos, I told you shouldn't have said anything, man. And like, Jimmy's scared now that that's going to get back to Roman. But Jay already is onto something. Something isn't right. And it's almost like everybody with Roman, Paul, and Solo, like they're going to turn on them at any moment. Was Sami Zayn right the whole time? You know, this story has been nothing for the last entire month. This past week, we saw little seeds start to be planted of maybe something happening with the Usos. And if they do, where do you go with it? Do you really do? Is it Jay versus Solo? Jimmy's? Are the Usos ready to be face tag teams while Owens and Zayn are still champions? You see what I'm saying? Like, this has to be handled delicately before you break up the bloodline completely. You better have a trajectory for every single one of these individuals. That's the big issue I have with if the Usos leave the bloodline right now. And our number one ends with the Street Profits versus Imperium. I honestly missed the finish of that. I had a very important business call to handle at that point, guys. Very, very big, lucrative business call that took about 5 or 6 minutes. It's something that's been in the works, and that was like the finalization. I was like, oh no, man, I gotta do the. Oh fuck! This match is about to end, and I honestly missed it. So, you know what? I'm not even gonna. If anybody could tell me in the comments, anybody that made it this far, if you know who won that match and how, let BC know. If you went 57, 58 minutes into this podcast already, so basically, if you watch the whole fucking podcast, let BC know who won at the end of hour number 1 with Imperium. Versus the Street Profits, because I did miss the finish to that. All apologies, guys. I had some big, I was going to call it side business, but main business to take care of. And BC was able to finalize that deal, by the way. So, yeah, pretty good, man. I appreciate it, guys. Pretty special. But I was able to be right back for hour number 2, which is good. Cody Rhodes started the second hour. Monstrous ovation. Love how Cody made reference to Lesnar, never even explaining why he attacked him in the first place. So Cody is basically admitting, I don't know what the fuck we're even having this match for. But Cody does get amplified in his words. You hear the voice changes to an amplified level. And he says, tomorrow, Brock Lesnar, I bring the pain. He says, I bring the pain tomorrow. I claim my kingdom by beating Brock Lesnar. And he's screaming right now at Puerto Rico. They're cheering for him big time. Big, monstrous ovation. Well, I hope so, Cody. That's all BC is going to say. When Cody says, tomorrow I bring the pain, which is tonight, I'm going to claim my kingdom. I'm going to beat Brock Lesnar. I hope so. Or WWE will do WWE shit. And they will have Lesnar not just win, but completely squash Cody. I wouldn't put it past this company to completely squash Cody Rhodes. a la John Cena-esque. Do you guys remember when Cena took on... It was this same type of story trajectory, by the way. Only this one was done a lot less, or a lot more carelessly. But I remember Cena just getting destroyed by Lesnar. I think that was like, what was that, Extreme Rules or something? I don't know, but I remember that shit. You could seriously have Cody Rhodes just get fucked up by this guy. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Karrion Kross. Naka defeats Kross flat and clean via Kinshasa. Great for Naka. That's great. Shinsuke, just like I said earlier with OC and the Viking Raiders, man, they all need wins right now desperately. Good for Nakamura. But what the fuck does it do for Kross? Guys, that's a character that can't lose like this. Karrion Kross, the character, he can't lose these type of matches. 4 or 5 minutes in the middle of a SmackDown. And a little semi-big feud, right? You could easily put this on a pay-per-view because it's been a few weeks in the making. He's been cutting these backstage segments, TikTok, Shinsuke, and doing all these cryptic messages to Shinsuke, and then he just loses in 5 minutes. A guy like Karrion Kross, you have to help protect the character because it will do damage. If Giant Gonzalez beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania 9, that would be immense damage. When Goldberg defeated Bray Wyatt in Saudi Arabia, that was damage. In something simplistic with a character like Karrion getting defeated in less than 5 minutes in the middle of a SmackDown. Damage! And I don't know if this is the type of damage that can be controlled. L.A. Knight, yeah, nowhere to be found. Just in case you're wondering, one of the hottest superstars in pro wrestling, or should be anyway. Great ovations when he is sporadically used. Emphasis on sporadically. Main event, Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega of the LWO versus the Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Rey Mysterio defeats Dominic Mysterio. Rey defeats his son Dominic yet again via the awe-inspiring, ultra-devastating roll-up. You knew the fruitiness was going to be in Puerto Rico at some point. Rey Mysterio rolls up his son Dominic into the fruity roll-up, and of course, nobody in pro wrestling can kick out of a fruity roll-up. So that's how the match ends. Now, post-match, Damien Priest finally hits the ring. He was not out there beforehand. Damien Priest hits the ring, helps the rest of Judgment Day beat down Ray. Then the music hits, and sure enough, here comes a bad man. Not Aaron Rodgers, but of course we're talking about a not-so-nice bunny. Hits the ring with the rest of LWO and a kendo stick in hand. He had his jacket, Bad Bunny had his jacket half off like he got stuck in Gorilla, and then they said, no, you gotta go now. So he's walking out with his jacket half off. It could be a style. Still weird to BC. I mean, if you got a jacket on, put it on or take it off. What people do for style is amazing to me. Like, how is that a style? Your jacket's half off. I've seen that on chicks before. No shade to Bud. Bunny's been amazing, by the way. Every time Bunny is out there doing a WWE project, if you've noticed, I don't bash it. I'm not negatively critiquing Bad Bunny usually. You know why? Because Bad Bunny hits it out of the park. He did it again last night. Bad Bunny is believable. Bad Bunny respects professional wrestling, and he takes this shit seriously. Now, I don't know enough about the not-so-nice Bunny. I'd never listened to one of his songs. I don't know anything about him. But I know that he's got a good fan base, and I know that he respects this shit. So until he starts producing fucking duds, and he starts fucking up and botching and shit in the bed, I'm still going to praise the dude. I don't mind it. Just like Logan Paul. Until Logan Paul shows up and does something that's actually really fucking bad in that ring or storyline-wise, or I got nothing bad to say about Logan Paul in WWE. I got nothing bad to say about Bad Bunny in WWE. They're pretty fucking good, actually. So, Bad Bunny comes down. He's stuck in his jacket, but he does have a kendo stick to help him. Damien Priest is able to escape because the LWO now has the numbers to fight back, and Bad Bunny gets in there with the kendo stick. Damien escapes, but Dominic tries to get in the ring. Dominic takes a shot from the kendo stick to the midsection. Or it was supposed to be his midsection, but he actually took it in his mini Mysterios, if you know what I'm talking about. I think the kendo shot was supposed to be a little higher, but the way Bad Bunny went in and Dominic kind of leaped a little, he took that right, and I'm talking right on his mini Mysterios. That could not have felt good. And then the heels kind of retreat, and the LWO presents Bunny with an LWO shirt, one of those nice Puerto Rico LWO shirts. They look phenomenal. The Bad Bunny puts it on, and they kind of celebrate towards the heels as we fade to black. And we end the show. Bunny sporting the LWO shirt to take it home and end the show. Actually, a hot finish to the show, I will say. The crowd was electric. So, BC has no problem with that finish. That was actually pretty electric. I'm actually a little bit on a card that should mean more and matter because some of these matches on paper seem pretty good, right? Io versus Bianca. Even Zelina and Rhea, I think, will be good, even on paper. Cody and Lesnar should be really good if you see that on paper. Bad Bunny versus Damien Priest in a street fight raises some interest. It's just the way they've executed this whole month. It doesn't make this card as special, but we know these performers are going to deliver tonight. And hopefully that can keep them more into the good column. When we do the review, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I hope we can have way more goods than bads. And hopefully no uglies, other than maybe the booking of some of this shit. But I'm okay with the finish to that show. Crowd electric. The not-so-nice Bunny played his role perfectly. Damien Priest is really helping him along. And that was SmackDown for 5/5/23. Cinco de Mayo in Puerto Rico. How special. And also, it was the go-home show to tonight's Backlash. So that's what I got for you guys. I want to make sure, before I end the podcast, there's a couple other stories I was going to get to, but I'm going to hold on them because we're already over an hour, so I'm not even going to touch up on that. Maybe I can touch up on that a couple of podcasts from now, because the next time we shoot the shit, it is going to be about Backlash, the review, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you guys do not want to miss that. I hope to do that live. That would be badass. In case I need you guys' help with where these matches should go into the categories, you guys are going to have to help me big time, especially my gold card members. Every one of you guys, man, smash that up on your way out if you haven't already. Stay amplified, think, be, live amplified. Until next time, and there will be a next time. Top guy, I'm out. Red team, go. Gold members, keep those gold cards activated. BC saying check you.